day and welcome to MSTC Ltd Q2FY26 earnings conference call hosted by Equirus Securities Private Limited. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in the listen-only mode, and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star then 0 on your touchtone phone. Please note that this conference is being recorded. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Deep Modi from Equirus Securities. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of Equirus Securities, I welcome you all to Q2FY26 earnings conference call of MSTC Ltd. From the management, we have with us today Mr. Manbendra Ghoshal, Chairman and Managing Director, Ms. Bhanu Kumar, Director Commercial, Mr. Subrata Sarkar, Director of Finance, and Mr. Ajay Kumar Rai, Company Secretary. We will begin the call with the opening remarks from the management, and then we will open the line for Q&A. I now hand over the call to Mr. Manbendra Ghoshal. Over to you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning, Deep, and good morning and a warm welcome to all our stakeholders for today's conference. Building upon a good start of Q1 of FY26, we've sustained a good revenue trend both on year-on-year as well as on sequential basis for the quarter. With expenses being on basically predictable and flat trend, the PBT and PAT have also been higher both sequentially and on year-on-year basis. Now, despite the fact that there has been a softening of prices in scrap, that trend has continued over quite a few quarters now. The revenue growth has still been led primarily by our flagship e-commerce segment. We have continued the process of consolidation of our business areas and defined our primary thrust areas as e-commerce and the growing area of development of software applications and platforms. In this, we have made some appreciable progress, about which our Director Commercial shall update you in greater detail later on. Now, apart from the electronic trading platform for EPR certificates, which is now under development, I'm also glad to share that MSTC has been selected by the DGFT to establish an online platform for allocation of tariff rate quotas for gold bullion import. We are working on that. We've also been selected by the government of Chhattisgarh for e-auction of sand mining blocks, the government of Karnataka for auction of liquor shop licenses, etc. Now, all of these are testimonials to the robustness and transparency that your company enables for the e-auction process itself. We've signed an MOU with the Shama Prasad Mukherjee Port, Kolkata, for providing e-commerce services for their leasing of port property for a period of 30 years. As I had informed our stakeholders during the last conference, we have been developing the software application for the KPKB, the Kendriya Police Kalyan Bhandar, which is now in its final delivery stage. Similarly, we have identified a few other specific opportunities which we believe shall drive our growth over the next 2 to 3 fiscals. And this shall strengthen and diversify our revenue streams also going forward. On the part of our joint venture with Mrs. Mahindra Auto, that is MMRPL, the performance has been as per expectations in Q2, while revenue has not yet become, the venture has not yet become profitable. There has been a sequential improvement in the numbers, and we are closely monitoring the operational aspects of the company. As I have mentioned earlier, the EPR regulations do give us a reason to have a positive outlook for MMRPL, but albeit in the long term. And maintaining business operations at incrementally increasing levels is what we are looking at in the short and medium term. And while the effect of EPR on increased vehicle sourcing through OEMs builds up. Needless to say, we are watching this closely. And I would now like to request our Director Commercial to give us a drill down on the way forward as it is panning out now, followed by Director Finance to provide a snapshot of the financials.
Yeah, good afternoon, Mrs. Bhanu Kumar, Director Commercial here. So before talking about what we plan for future, I would like to point out the key highlights of the performance for the H1 of this year. So operational performance during 25-26, the company has crossed about 301.67 billion in terms of value of goods transacted. The marketing vertical has tapered down significantly and it is facing closure as of now. As far as the financial performance is concerned, PBT of 125.709 crores is what has been earned in H1 of 25-26, vis-a-vis 111.50 crores in 24-25 H1. And PAT is 93.47 crores vis-a-vis 83.48 during 24-25 H1. PBT of 122.16 crores vis-a-vis 108.72 crores is the consolidated financial performance, and PAT has been 89.84 crores vis-a-vis 80.70 crores. So there is just a marginal increase, but in the times to come, we are expecting that it will be a little more robust. Now, as far as the highlights of this half year is concerned, the first major thing which is going to have significant revenue inflows in the years to come is the award of the contract by Central Pollution Control Board to develop a platform for the electronic trading platform for the EPR certificates. So this is going to be quite a game changer and in establishing exchanges by MSTC. We also, as our CMD had already stated in his opening remarks, DGFT, the Director General of Foreign Trade, has nominated MSTC for establishing a platform for online administration of allocation of tariff for import of gold bullion. We expect that this will pave way for other commodities in future. MSTC has signed an agreement with the Excise Department of Government of Karnataka. You all may be aware that we had done this exercise for Rajasthan government earlier. So with that confidence, now we had approached other state governments and Karnataka has finalized this agreement as of now. Now, as far as the other highlights are concerned, MSTC has carried out the major mineral block auctions. About 86 numbers have been auctioned in this H1, belonging to various states like Chhattisgarh, Uttar Pradesh, Assam, Madhya Pradesh, and etc. We have also signed an agreement with Chhattisgarh for sand blocks. Sand blocks we have done in various states, Uttar Pradesh being very significant in the past. Now we are replicating that in Chhattisgarh. The Green Steel Certification Portal. Now these are some small assignments that we have done for the Ministry of Steel, one being the Green Steel Certification Portal. Now similar such small assignments from various ministries and our own Ministry of Steel are also on the anvil, and we are having small development of software in the SaaS model, which we had introduced a couple of years ago. So that we feel now is going to drive the growth, the revenue growth in the years to come. Now, and MSTC had auctioned the property portal that we had launched earlier. Now it is playing a significant role in the sense that most of the state government's assets are auctioned through this portal, and the Telangana State Industrial Infrastructure Corporation witnessed a very good price and competition, and they could sell some land parcels at 2,900 crores, much beyond their expectation. MSTC has signed a 30-year agreement with Shyama Prasad Mukherjee Port Trust in Kolkata. Now this is why we have highlighting this is we are going in for long-term agreements like this with our other clients also. That will be one of the focus areas in future. Commercial coal block mining, as usual, is continuing, and 41 mines have been auctioned in the H1 of this year. As our CMD stated, the KPKB portal, which is going to be a path-breaking kind of a thing in the government sector as far as retail business operations is concerned. This will again pave way for similar portals for not just the military, but there are other entities who may use this kind of a platform. We are also planning to have more products on the lines of Upkaran. Upkaran we had launched in the last quarter, which is going to be a digital platform for leasing of equipment. Now, similarly, we are also planning to have our own travel portal, which will initially be for the government sector. Focus will be on the government sector B2B transactions, but definitely it is going to be enlarged to accommodate B2C, the private sector, and all other stakeholders. Now, this is a plan that is on the anvil, and we expect that by FY27 Q1, we should be making it operational. Now, regarding the financials, I'll hand over to our Director of Finance, Mr. Sarkar.
Very good afternoon. So far financials are concerned, it was revenue growth was 9.31% from 179.27 crore to 195.96, riding primarily over our e-commerce income, which grew from 123.47 to 146.28 crore, 18.47% increase. And expenses accordingly was not there. The increase was not there. It grew from 60.70 to 65.25, that is 7.50% increase. With that, EBITDA stood at 130.71 crore as compared to 118.57 crore of corresponding period last year. So the growth of 10.24%. Depreciation remaining the flatter, and with that PBT, and there is no exceptional item for this half year. So PBT stood at 125.79 crore as compared to 111.50, that is 12.81%. Profit and loss after tax stood at 93.47 crore as compared to 83.48 crore, that is up by 11.96. Accordingly, EPS has also gone up from 11.86 to 13.28 per share, growth of 11.96%. And so far segmental reportings are concerned, so total value of goods which was traded through our ecosystem, it is 301.67 crore, and revenue has increased from 179.27% to 195.96, mainly on the e-commerce growth. And expenses, of course, has gone up from 65.83 to 70.17. Exceptional items expenses are not there. So profit and loss before tax has gone up from 111.50 to 125.79, and PAT 83.48 has grown up to 93.47, growth of 11.96. This is from the standalone part. So far the consolidated part is concerned, so right now with the hiring of FSNL, so we have got only the share of loss from joint venture. So it is for this half year it is 3.63 crore as compared to 2.78 last year. With that revenue remaining the same, and there is no exceptional item. So PBT stood at 122.16 as compared to 108.72 last CPLY last year, and tax increased from 28.0 to 32.32, and PAT stood at 89.84 as compared to 80.70, and as a group basis the EPS stood at 12.76 as compared to 11.46. So far summary of the PL is concerned. So what we can see that revenue from operation grew from 140.97 to 162.43, and other income was little bit lesser from 38.30 to 33.53. With that, total revenue grew from 179.27 to 195.96. Employee benefit has grown up little, just as a routine increase from 44.71 to 46.34. Finance cost is nil this year, this half year, and depreciation remaining the flatter, and other expenses, of course, not a big jump from 15.99 to 18.91. So with that, we have got PBT at 125.79 as compared to 111.50 last year, and PAT at 83.48 to 93.47. And so far consolidated is concerned, because we don't have any line item to consolidate, only the share of profit and loss account of joint venture. This year it is 3.63 of loss as compared to 2.78 last year. With that, PBT stood at 122.16 as compared to 108.72, and PAT stood at 89.84 as compared to 80.70. So that is all so far financials are concerned. now hand over the mic to the team for further Q&A.
Thank you very much. We will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on their touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. The first question comes from the line of Prathamesh from Orbit Exports Family Office. Please go ahead.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Yeah, firstly, sir, congrats for the great set of numbers. And secondly, apologies for if there is any background noise from my side. So I have questions regarding the 3 segments. First is the vehicle scrapping business. So in the vehicle scrapping business trading platform that we have, so if I'm not wrong, there are around 10 lakh vehicles in India of the government which are about to get scrapped. So can you just tell me, sir, in value terms, how much can be the value of this and how much take rate can we take out of this?
See, you are going by the reports that about 10 lakh vehicles are to be scrapped. But then for scrapping this, a lot of background work and institutional framework is required. First being that these 10 lakh vehicles, the details should be available in the Vahan portal. A lot of data, the historical data of many of these vehicles are not available in the Vahan portal. And at that point of time, a lot of vehicles were done manually. The registration process and everything was done, and it was available in segregated form. Secondly, for the vehicles to be scrapped, then you need to have good incentive scheme. There may be vehicles, but then people will have to come out and say that I want to scrap this vehicle. So unless there is some incentive, there is some push, this is not going to happen. There have been a lot of incentives given by state governments. This is a state subject. There have been a lot of incentives that have been formulated in the recent past, but that has not entirely translated to scrapping of the vehicles. And this again is in a very fragmented basis based on the state's own policies and initiatives. So these are 2 different things. Yes, of course, all the 10 lakh vehicles will have to be scrapped sooner or later, but this is turning out to be a slightly slow process.
Got it. Yeah, understood, ma'am. Great. Yeah.
The 10 lakh vehicles would also, basically the large part of it would be privately owned vehicles. And there is a substantial number of, unorganized players in the market who are also into vehicle scrapping. So a large part of that, those 10 lakhs would also tend to get diverted to the unorganized sector, which would basically need brought online. So that is what ma'am was talking about.
Got it, sir. Understood. So my second question is regarding the EPR trading platform that we are making. So what sort of opportunity we are looking at in this segment? Has there been any active regulations that have been brought by the government for the EPR norms by which it will create, more volumes on our platform in coming time?
Yes. So as far as the EPR is concerned, there have been policy guidelines as far as 5 categories of material is concerned, hazardous waste is concerned. And there are at least another 5 to 10 more categories which are likely to be included in the policy framework. These have been announced very recently, just in the last year. And there have been some trading going on offline. There is no digital platform, and all these things are happening, on one-to-one basis, or there are some small players who are actually doing any trading. So in order to regulate the entire setup, since the volumes definitely is going to increase in the coming years, CPCB had decided to establish an exchange. And through an open tender process, we got this contract from CPCB. This is going to be quite a game changer as far as MSTC is concerned, because this is a first of its kind of an exchange. Because the policy framework is also new, the categories are new, the players are new, so it is like starting from scratch. So the credibility, credentials, and our own experience will play a big part. MSTC, as you may be aware, has been disposing of hazardous waste for various government entities for the past more than 20 years in a very seamless and transparent manner. So similarly, we want to have this kind of credential established for the EPR trading also. So with the kind of volumes that we have already seen in the past for the 5 categories and what is in store in the other new categories that will be added up, this holds good potential for revenue growth as far as the exchange is concerned. Of course, time will only tell, and initially for the first 1 or 2 years, yes, there is a lot of cost associated with it in developing and establishing this platform. There may be a positive revenue input from the end of FY27 or the beginning of 28. But in future, definitely we are seeing this as one of the game-changing kind of a contract as far as MSTC is concerned.
Got it. So, okay, so what I understood, there is a huge tailwind in this sector, but for few, let's say 2 to 3 years, we are not seeing significant contribution in our top line from this segment.
So there will be something that will be, because 5 of the categories are already established, so there will be transactions, but it may not be very significant. It may be, something like a routine thing. But as and when new categories are introduced, definitely the volumes will be going up.
Got it. And recently, we have done an MOU with Kolkata, which is I think around 5,000 crores. So are we expecting the revenue to start coming in gradually? So for 30 years, so let's say I think around 200 crores should come year on year, or is it going to be partly thing?
No. 5,000 crores is what Kolkata Port Trust, Shyama Prasad Mukherjee Port Trust is envisaging over a period of 30 years by leasing its port land. And they are using our, portal for auctioning of those leases. So what we get is a minuscule percentage of those events. It's nothing, you cannot relate it to 5,000 crores. So, and that too, this is going to happen over a 30-year period. Why we have highlighted it here is the kind of association that we are, envisaging from the port trust entities on long-term basis. Like these associations earlier were on 1 or 2 years contracts. But now we are going in for long-term contracts, so the strategies, the platforms can be developed in a more comprehensive manner.
Sustainable long-term business.
Yeah.
Got it, sir. Great. Yeah. Great, sir. Great. Just a last question, sir. So what sort of revenue mix does vehicle scrapping business and other key sub-segments in the e-com platform, if you can give that highlight? And secondly, what sort of revenue growth are we looking for next 3 years? That's it, Thomas.
See, as far as the sub-segments of e-commerce is concerned, some of our revenue is based on percentage basis and some of it is on event basis. So it is a mixed bag. As far as the scrap business is concerned, it is on percentage basis. But as you already are aware, the scrap prices are showing a downward trend. It's stable in the last 1 year. So there's not much growth in that segment, and it contributes to almost about 50% of our revenue as on date. As far as the other events are concerned, it is more or less on event basis, especially the coal and the e-sale and e-procurement kind of events. That's on events. So if the number of events goes up, we get good revenue. If the number of events is much less, like we had highlighted about the Telangana state infrastructure, land parcel sale. They might have got about 2,900 or 3,000 odd crores, but what we get is for the event only. So it has got no relation with the value. So it's a mixed bag actually.
Which we try to optimize.
Yes. And in the years to come, for another 2-3 years, definitely there is going to be, incremental growth will always be there as and when we expand our business. And with the new ventures that we are talking of, we do feel that the growth can be a little more supplemented with the new ventures.
Okay, so can I consider there can be incremental, I think, 100 to 100 basis points of improvement in top line growth as compared to the previous years that we are delivering?
We would not like to put really numbers onto it. That would not be fair.
Got it. Got it, sir. Sure. Thank you so much, sir, and all the best for your team.
Thank you.
Thank you. A reminder to all the participants that you may press star and 1 to ask a question. The next question comes from the line of Prashant Kothari, who is an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon. My first question is regarding the Telangana government e-procurement mandate. You sent a notice to the stock exchange in March 25. Wanted to understand if there has been any progress as far as the e-procurement is concerned, because I checked the investor presentation, and under the e-procurement segment, there's hardly any revenue that is being shown there. So please shed some light on this. Second question is regarding the e-Upkaran portal. Can you please provide an update and any revenue guidelines? Thank you.
Yeah, the first question regarding the Telangana government order for not just e-procurement, it is for e-auction, e-procurement and e-sale of the raw materials. Now in this, as far as the auction process is concerned, yes, definitely, it's trickling in. Some new additions are there from the government side. E-procurement, they do have a NIC portal also, which they are using, which they have been using. So many of the events that are already listed there is continuing there. But the new entities that are coming up, people are approaching them and they are, acclimatizing them as to how the usage of the portal, the features and everything. So the revenues I expect will trickle in probably from the next year only. But yes, definitely the number of events will go up with the times to come.
It is subsumed into a normal revenue.
Yeah, it is a normal growth. It is a normal growth, and see, the e-procurement activity as such is not a very big revenue earner as far as MSTC is concerned. It's more of a facilitation for the government sector, with whom we do other businesses also.
Okay. Second question was regarding the e-Upkaran portal.
Yeah. So Upkaran portal, as you know, was launched very recently, and it is basically a leasing or a purchase kind of a platform for most of the equipments and for leasing as well as purchase. Now we had not thought of any revenue in the first 1 or 2 quarters, because this is a new area where people were dealing with these things only on one-to-one basis. So first we'll have to onboard them, acclimatize them to the portal and its usages. That process is going on as of now. Once we have inputs also from the stakeholders as to how we can improve upon the portal and its features, functionalities, then we will be building up a business model into this, and probably you can see some kind of revenue from this segment.
So madam, what will be the revenue model here? So it is advertising revenue?
We are still in the process of gauging as to what should be the business model and what should be the revenue. Right now it is just onboarding of various stakeholders, acclimatizing them to a digital platform for usage for leasing and purchasing of equipment. So it is a little too early to talk about revenue or the business model as such.
Okay. Madam, can you also shed some light on the NPA portal that you had developed for private and cooperative banks?
Yeah. So basically we were operating this IBAPI portal for about 3-4 years, and thereafter the public sector banks had set up their own infrastructure. So this portal is now open for not just the NPA of the banks, the rural, cooperative, private banks, they are also using it. Apart from that, a lot of government organizations, they are also selling or monetizing their assets, basically primarily the properties. So that database features, that is being used by a lot of organizations. That again is one of the small sub-segment of our e-commerce business itself. So you cannot actually attribute any number to what is the income or revenue from the property portal.
Oh, okay. I have a few more questions, but I'll get back to the line.
Sure.
Thank you. A reminder to all the participants that you may press star and 1 to ask a question. The next question comes from the line of Saurabh from Smiths Limited. Please go ahead.
Yeah, good afternoon to the management team, and thank you for giving me the opportunity. My first question will be, what would be our annual capex requirement for this year? And if you also can share some thoughts regarding how do you plan to utilize the future cash flow and what would be the dividend policy then?
So let me answer the last question first. So as already published in our portal and as per the Government of India guideline, it is in the public domain. So the dividend policy is very clear. So minimum dividend that PSU has to declare is 30% of the PAT or 5%, 4% of the net worth, whichever is higher. So this is a very declared policy. So and government until unless there is a specific dispensation from the Government of India. So generally, Government of India under Ministry of Finance it decides through a meeting with the PSUs to how much a dividend should be given and there. So of course, within the framework of this policy and the extent guideline that is available in the public domain. Number two is a very thing that we have sought about the capex requirement. You know, we are in a phase of multiple developments as the call was going on. We have got a CPCP platform is going on, and another ventures are also going on. So the main thing is that coming up is like we are still in the process of developing the same, and in certain things this exact requirement of capex is going on, but still I think it will be, as of now it seems not to be that much of capital intensive, and so far cash is concerned. So you know, in the earlier year also and every year also, we will last year we acquired a good office space to become a corporate office at New Delhi, and that is where the capital, that was the cash was utilized. So similarly, we will have a mixed kind of judgment depending upon the situation. First priority will be, of course, the current server maintenance and the equipment. Second priority, of course, will be on the new business ventures like CPCB and that travel portal that we had called about. It will be a mixed bag of capex and initial revenue expenditure. And of course, third part will be, of course, the distribution of dividend and of course, acquisition of any office space which can.
Okay, thank you for the elaborate answer. My second part is a suggestion to the management, which have been highlighting since multiple calls that the disclosure levels on the presentation needs to improve. Right, if you see the presentation, it is just like a statement of facts. There is no information provided regarding the movement in the earnings. Like if you see in the current quarter, the e-commerce sales have increased from about 89 crores to almost 98 crores. But what has led to this kind of jump in the e-commerce revenue has not been explained. So in the last 4 to 5 quarters, the management has been giving.
I got your concern. Couple of things that we tell to you regarding our business model that our Director Commercial CMD was also here. It comprises of, there is a bunch of revenue that we are reporting. It comprises of bits and pieces. Somewhere it is 50 lakh, somewhere it is 10 lakh, 5 lakh. So it is very difficult. You have to think of a big service organization to an e-auction service provider. There the model of earnings is pretty different. So it keeps on happening of the event, and primarily depends upon the still we are dependent upon the 89 to 90% is the government revenue. It depends upon the government disposal of scrap, government disposal of their natural resources like coal blocks, iron blocks, and of course the iron ore mining scenario in the country. So it keeps on fluctuating. Overall, basically, it will be very difficult to tell how this has happened and what will be the trend, because we are dependent upon some external events that is which is not in our control, like a manufacturing organization and like a big service organization where the service bunches are very, very clear. So our services are clear, but the events are not very much well defined, predefined. So it will be very difficult for to have this. Still, as gathered from our earlier experiences and valuable suggestions from the investor, this time we have already tried to put a single pager which gives a very overview of what we are planning to do in future and per se what has led to this type of thing. So, that page is page number 4 is very clear to our activity in brief. Otherwise, it's very, like scattered type of activity. So it will run into pages and pages.
It's an agglomeration of multiple sources of revenue. So it is difficult to put a specific sector because those keep varying from time to time.
Okay. At least a breakup of revenue between scrap and non-scrap to begin will be also quite helpful. And a paragraph on the latest quarterly performance with some comments from the senior management, MD and CFO will also help.
So we have noted. Let us see how we can make it out within the legal framework and the exact guidelines, sir. Noted, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Our next question comes from the line of Prashant Kothari, who is an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Sir, my question is regarding the notice that was recently sent regarding e-auction of cold tariff quota. Could you explain what this is? How was this business currently? How is this business currently done? And what is the revenue potential? Because you clearly mentioned that the management of the company expects fair volume of business from the aforesaid business. And secondly, regarding the travel portal, can you share some more details as to what you actually plan to do? Because currently you already have so many portals like Make My Trip, Yatra, etc. So how does MSTC, plan to start this business? Thank you.
So the first question, as far as the...
Sorry to interrupt, ma'am, but Prashant sir, can you please mute your line after asking a question?
My line is already muted.
Okay, sir. There was an echo.
Okay. Are you able to hear me now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So the first question regarding the bullion allocation quota, the Director General of Foreign Trade allows import of gold bullion into the country, and it is given to MSMEs and non-MSMEs, small scale sector, and there is a rebate in the price of the gold itself. So for allocating that, a very transparent kind of a mechanism was required by DGFT. All along it was done more like in a manual fashion. But right now they have asked us to develop a platform through which in a transparent manner the allocation can be done. Since there is a subsidy kind of a thing involved in this, so obviously the person, the entity which will be asking for the least subsidy will be the preferred bidder. Now this is in terms of kgs and in there are limits that are applicable to various entities. So this is a complex kind of allocation methodology algorithm that is being developed. Now as far as the revenue is concerned, we are expecting a lot of entities who are operating in this sector, the stakeholders, to register on our platform and carry out the transaction. So there will be some small transaction charges associated with taking part in such events. So as of now, since we haven't started doing any transaction, it will be a little too premature to talk about what kind of revenue stream we can envisage. But right now for just the development and all, it is not much. It's not significant. But going forward, because this is an area which is new to us as well as to DGFT, we expect that this kind of events will be extended to other commodities, precious metals also. Now, regarding the travel portal, that was the second question.
Yes.
There are a lot of travel portals. I totally agree with you. They are all mainly in the B2C segment. But as far as the government work is concerned, there are just about 3-4 portals that the government has mandated for use by the government organizations. especially in the central government, the ministries as well as the PSUs, which actually transact a lot of business in the travel arena. So Barman Lorry is one, and then apart from that, of course, IRCTC, and there are a couple of more organizations which have established travel portals. And the government organizations can use it only when there is a empanelment with the DGCA. Now, towards this end, we saw that there is an ample opportunity. We being in the e-commerce space for quite some time, our expertise, exposure to newer technologies has given us the confidence that we can probably enter this area with newer technologies as well as a better interface for the users. So with that ambitious plan, we are embarking upon establishing a travel portal which will be focusing initially for the government sector, but later on definitely it will be opened up to the private sector as well as the B2C segment, individuals also. So
if I
as of now,
please go ahead.
So as of now, the revenue may not be significant, but there is enough potential in the government sector. So that is why we are venturing to establish. And the cost associated with this, we saw that wasn't much because we already have established, data centers and redundant capacities. We don't need to add on or invest upon any infrastructure cost for establishing a travel portal.
Leverages our
redundant capacities
and expertise.
So basically, there's not much cost involved, and definitely the revenues are always welcome.
Okay. So if I understand right, this is being developed currently only for the central government?
No, the focus is on the government sector initially, because we see a lot of traction, a lot of travel being undertaken by the various officials. But definitely, it is going to be opened up for the private sector as well as the B2C clients, for individuals also. So initial focus is only for the government sector because there are certain, guidelines and rules, regulations, all those things are applicable. So the development will be tuned to the government sector, but later on it will be, enlarged to open up for private sector and individuals.
Currently, government sector employees cannot use the private sector portals like a Make My Trip or a Yatra. Please let me know.
Not for official use.
Okay, so how do they go about making their bookings? Through Barman Lorry or
Barman
others?
Lorry is there, IRCTC is there, or they can have direct, agreements with certain airlines and all, if at all they conclude. But then most of the central government as of now is using Barman Lorry.
Okay, so Barman Lorry would be our prime competitor here.
Yes. They are already established players, so we are actually trying to compete with them.
Okay. Also mentioned regarding the data center business. Somewhere in May also, you had mentioned that MSTC is opening a center, a disaster recovery site in Delhi. And then you had made some changes in the memorandum of association regarding getting into the data center business. So any update regarding that?
So may I answer that? So all of these are essentially operational requirements. Even at that point of time, I had mentioned that putting up a DR site in Delhi or expanding our data server base is an operational requirement primarily, and we would then also evaluate as to what would be the additional capacities that would be available, so that with a view of monetizing it. So that is a process which is ongoing, and we are working towards it. I mean, primarily, of course, it is for strengthening our data infrastructure which is available.
That's my question.
Mr. Prashant, do you have any further questions?
Yes, that was one question, and one more question. That is the last one.
Sir, can you repeat again? We couldn't hear you.
Oh, so my question was, have you started monetizing the data center business?
Not yet. We are working on it. I mean, since we are working on multiple ways, so multiple streams. So this is one of the things that we are following up.
Okay. And sir, only my last question. You mentioned in this investor presentation that MSTC has developed a Kendriya Police Kalyan Bhandar portal. What does that mean, sir?
It is essentially, the Kendriya Police Kalyan Bhandar is a kind of canteen facility for the central, the CAPFs, the central police forces. So we are developing a software application covering the entire gamut of operations of those vendors for them. So this is something which is now in the final stages.
Okay,
and
so it won't be...
Update the... Sorry?
So it's not like a portal, like an kind of an Amazon for KPKB, where you can sell.
No, it's basically we are developing the backbone for them, the software application backbone.
Okay. Thanks, sir.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question comes from the line of Prathamesh from Orbit Exports Family Office. Please go ahead.
Yeah, so just a follow-up question for the previous participant. So actually I'm new to the business. So the data center that we are setting up, is it for the captive use or are we going to rent it out?
As I mentioned, Prathamesh, I mean the primary requirement of a data center is for our own use. So basically it is for expanding our own capacity as well as developing a robust DR backbone. And then we will be able to evaluate as to if there is additional capacity then available with us. Obviously, we would look at monetizing it. So we are in the process of doing that now. And as and when that time where we will be able to take a firm call on what is the monetization possible, we'll update all the stakeholders regarding that.
Sure, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. A reminder to all the participants that you may press star and 1 to ask a question. As there are no further questions from the line of participants, I now hand the conference over to the management for closing comments.
Once again, I would like to express my gratitude to all the stakeholders who have taken the time to, ask these questions. Because when you ask these questions, it also makes us rethink. At some points of time, we would be going in a stream of thought where a question that of the kind that is asked at these interactions also leads to a lot of other possibilities opening up. So I'm really grateful, and please keep those questions coming. Please keep that advice coming so that we can make your company bigger, better, and more profitable enterprise at all times. Thank you so much.
On behalf of Equity Securities Private Limited, that concludes this conference. Thank you for joining us, and you may now disconnect your lines. Thank you.